So, good evening, everyone. It's time for another update. I'm pretty excited. Right off the bat, I tell you, we're working on this song, "You Are Good." It is, it's coming along unbelievably. My songwriting and recording process is sometimes a little difficult. I used to have a band that we played with, we did everything with, but those days have kind of gone on. Everyone went out about their own business. So now it's basically, I do a lot of playing with UC, and I'll record live with her. However, most of the musicians I end up playing with, we kind of piecemeal it out. We have a great time together, but life has its demands, family and whatnot. So music is what we enjoy. I read a lot of things online about people trying to make their money and trying to make their riches and wealth. I never found that, never chased that. I've just enjoyed music, and music's been very good to me for 30 years. Consider myself more of a journeyman player, but I've always written and enjoyed and tried to stay true to what I do and what I see and how I communicate, and trying again not to be redundant. So we're working on the song "You Are Good." I have to tell you, I know I brag on Marco a lot. He is a fantastic producer, and his mind for music is unbelievable. And so he's created this orchestra that plays around it. So I'm very excited about that. It's getting ready to put the drums and the bass on it, and then we're going to be mastering it and working on the next one, and I'll probably release a piece of it, but not the whole thing just quite yet. Still really excited about the first three songs we released today. Kind of thinking of the songwriting process to the song "Unnatural." I released a blog post on it some time back, and I will put that in the link when this thing closes down. But the song "Unnatural," I begin that song with what used to be the chorus. The song had a very different flow. It derives from just the realization at some point I had been working really hard trying to I'm going to say it's hard to put words to some of these things. I think people should pursue their passions, and I think God frees us to pursue our passions even if we don't give credit to him. However, I got into a place where I really realized that I had been kind of stacking my ducks here, what my value system becoming something of what people thought of me, getting a little too big for my britches, and in the goodness of grace, it kind of crashed down, and it needed to. A little reality settled in, and I wrote this song. I built a house in a world that is not my home. Abiding here is unnatural. Originally, the lyrics were, "I've built a house in a world that is not my home. Living here is unnatural." I kind of moved things around. The way I opened that song was the chorus, and it never really took off. It becomes almost a whine. It's not so much. It's just making the statement. But one of the things I try to do when I write something that's self kind of is opening up and just really looking inward, is to not just leave it as negative. That we're not here to get beat up on. The message of the gospel is not that we're terrible and that's it. The message that we have is hope. It's joy. It's, even given the situations we find ourselves in, believe in God or not, he's given us the elements of himself that we get to enjoy. And one of them is hope. I screwed up today, but I have tomorrow, and tomorrow's a day I can find hope in. So I try to put that in all my songs. So this, in essence, this sucks, but there's this hope. So I've been getting ready to do this. I played this opportunity in North Carolina, New Bern, North Carolina, and I wanted to push that song. I wanted to play that song, and I had never played it. I written it and never played it, and I'm fiddling around with it, and I realized the chorus got redundant. So I mixed it up and was able to put some kick to it. And so if you listen to the song, which I'll also put in the comments, it's got some good kicks to it. The song moves along very, very, very well, I think. The recording of it was difficult because I could never see it past the initial acoustic guitar. I couldn't. I try to put drums. I play drums, but I don't. I play drums until a drum player gets around. He's like, all right, yeah, I can keep time and I can fill in, but then there's technique and stuff like that. That I don't pretend to be a percussionist. I can play and pick up. So I couldn't find that beat. I couldn't find the keys that worked. I couldn't find the guitar that worked. The licks, the chops. I just couldn't find a way to make it work. When Marco approached me about giving him an opportunity, he took that song. He spent several weeks on it, and he's like, the first iteration of it, he comes back and there's these Rhodes, this Hammond rotary keyboard sound, and the masterful work of Steve Gilbane, a man I'm indebted to, who got on the keys and played it out for me. Asher Schachter on the bass guitar, and John Searles on the drums, and they put together from this song that I had just laid down with the acoustic guitar and a metronome. And it's kind of funny because if you try to play along with me, it's in the key of D, but it's a little sharp because my tuner wasn't working. I didn't realize that my tuner was a little off. It was set to like 443 instead of 440. And it was the bass player who kind of, so they kind of adjust everything to get in there. It is a wonderful song, and it speaks to, stays true to the message that there is hope. That I believe that hope is Jesus. I believe that hope is in life and enjoying Him and freedom and the ability for us to be ourselves, and His promise to work with us, to be with us, to continue to work in us, to want to do and to be able to do His good things. So that's the song, Unnatural. It's going to be our album. Name is the name of the album that's coming out, and it really it culminates with the idea that I got lost trying to make my value of what the quality of my life is here, and everything that I'm building here is going to eventually fail. All of the institutions of mankind will eventually fail. We can't find anything in politics. We can't find anything. The government's not going to save us. Education is not going to save us. And work's not going to save us. Family's not going to save us. Religion's not going to save us. These things are things we put together and we organize, yet they're good things. But when we take those good things and we push them too far, good things become little g God things. And that's I was trying to explain this thought to Dexter, my media guy, and he got on there and started, how about this, how about this? And that's where those houses came from, where one side is this beautiful house, the house that we think we're building. And then the other house is what the other side is what is actually the value of that house. It's just going to fall to disrepair. All the things we put into this world will fall to disrepair. But the things that we put in God's hands will be forever perfected, will be forever secured. And we have a hard time doing that. We have a hard time giving Him things sometimes. We have a hard time, especially things we hold close, because we're afraid to lose them. They're part of our character. Not realizing that some things we give to Him, we truly don't get back. But many of the things that we give to Him, it's like a Rubik's Cube. We give to Him a screwed up Rubik's Cube that we can't fix, and He kind of twists it around, pops it back in our hands, and it's back playable again. That is what I have found more than anything. So there is not a word that is on my heart that you don't already know, but I still need to say it because it's inside of me. It's eating me up, and then making the confession that Jesus. You're not just a name, a person in history, which you are. I believe, and that was the culmination and the acceptance of what I've done. But by His goodness, He's never going to let me be satisfied with anything other than Him. Now, wrapping this up, I've said it before. I say it almost every time I'm on stage. I do not believe. Every song I have is not going to be about, using religious terms, and I don't believe there's such thing. And I know we have Christian music as an industry, but I believe there's music, and I believe there's, just like I believe there's art, just like I believe there is construction, just like I believe there's medicine and engineering, and we don't have Christian engineering, we don't have Christian art, we don't have Christian math. It is or it isn't, but I believe we have choosing to do what we do in excellence, and as Christians we should be trying to be the best we can be. So some of my music is all of my music is to be honest to what I do, and some of these songs are clearly I'm announcing God, and I've been told, and I understand that can isolate myself from a whole group of people, which can really limit my launching. But I've got to be honest to myself. You will, however, hear many songs I have a song that's about politics coming out called Revolution, that I'm very clearly, the songs, I think if you look at the message, you can see the message behind it, but it's more of we have to learn to value. We need a revolution of thought process where we stop valuing people we don't know, politicians and people we want to get behind, but these are people we do not know, over the people that we do know. We're to the point now where we are disqualifying personal relationships, lifelong personal relationships, because of differences that we don't think are reconcilable with politicians we know nothing about. All of us seem to be only holding to the beautiful, perfect side of these people, all of us ignoring the horrible shadows they come with. And I choose to, I watch this happen around me, and I think we need a revolution in that thought process, and we need to be valuing our personal relationships. I have friends with people that are all over the spectrum, and I value that person. I know that person, and I just wish we could move there. So that's a song that's coming, little teaser there. But for now, I appreciate so many people have stepped out. We are at 500 streams, which is pretty exciting. The first month of last time I released any music was 2004, I think, and these platforms did not exist. So we are, I'm not paying for streams. I'm not doing any of that stuff. I'm just doing completely word of mouth, putting stuff out there. I have an auto thing that's kind of pulling on my websites and pulling stuff like that. We're developing our team. I had a wonderful meeting with the head of Provision Ministries, which it's on our webpage already. I know the president very well, Tom Slickland. I know several of the people on staff. This is a ministry that takes food and supplies there by faith, and just puts food, clothing, all types of things, necessities into the hands of homeless veterans. They do this every day, all without fail, really focusing coat drives, things like that. And I watch them work, and it's an impressive amount of labor. Well, God has given them a beautiful piece of property in Westboro to build a much bigger warehouse so they can be more effective what they're doing. But it's going to be about a $5 million venture of faith. Now, $5 million seems like a big number to a lot of people. However, when you think of how quickly the word can spread, the power of $1 is amazing. So on my website is a link to the provision, and you can join in helping. You want to talk about people that are doing the work. There's an old Chinese proverb that says, if you want to see the rich give, feed the poor. These are people that are feeding the poor, and they're feeding the poor whether we give to them or not. I support Provision. We're going to be supporting Provision at all of our shows. Again, on my website, I don't get paid. I don't need to get paid. I've been fortunate enough to have a wonderful career in music, music as well, but in medicine, and I'm able to perfectly take care of myself. I do want to see the people that are doing tirelessly work getting paid. So we're, the Spotify, if you can support us with that, that helps raise money that I can pay the studio guys and my media guys. But a lot of these guys is a venture of love right now, and it's all believing that what I have is a message that resounds with people. But guys like Provision is who I want to be able to point people to. And then in a couple of weeks, I'm meeting with Clearway Ministries, which is a crisis pregnancy ministry out of Worcester, Shrewsbury, Worcester region. They've got a couple of, I think Marlborough, that's Springfield. I'm sorry, not Marlborough, Springfield. Then 25 years of trying to help women in crisis have an opportunity to have the get good counsel as far as what the pregnancy conditions, ultrasound to see the baby, and just loving these people, loving these women, and have done a great job of it. And I want to bring awareness to them, and that's really what I'm in our message of hope. We are raising awareness to these two ministries, and pretty excited about that, because I think they're ministries that need to be known about. They're actually, again, they're not ministries, they're not startups, they're not people that are trying to collect your money so they can be comfortable to start something and feel brave. These are people that have been at work for years on their own dime, on their own spine, on their own gut, and they've done the work, and they're going to continue doing the work. So they're not going to take your money and suddenly do something different. They're but investing in these people are investing in really good lands. So I think I've talked enough for this one. The song "You Are Good" is coming. You can hear what it sounds like on my YouTube. So the YouTube, I've got some that I played live. Gives you kind of the skeleton of the song. I'm telling you now, when we drop that, it's so exciting to see how that song is built into. You can support us always. Again, we're at 500 streams. Our first goal is to get to 1,000 streams per song on Spotify. The biggest thing you can do for us is just put our songs on your Spotify mix. Like our music, put us in your mixes. If you have a work mix going, throw us in there. If it's for what work should be, and it's appropriate. Share our stuff with your friends. If you have any connection to radio, we are on internet radio, Django Radio, and we're getting some pretty good traction there. But none of that turns into revenues that help our team. Spotify does, YouTube does, and of course we're on iTunes, and we're on Amazon, and we're on a whole bunch of other platforms. So inclined, you can the iTunes money, I think like 70% of that goes to me, and like I said, I'm turning around and putting that right into the people that are working to help bring this stuff to light. So that's the best way you can help us. We're not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna be saying I want this to play. I'm going for, we just want the opportunities to be able to bring awareness to Provision Ministries, to Clearway Ministries, and bring what we feel is a very important message of hope. So Unnatural, it's out. It's a great song with a lot of good stuff. I'm going to link it below after this. I appreciate all of you. And if you have any questions, by all means, drop it on our page, send us an email, hit those likes, those follows.